there's days where she wants guidance on something else. So she'll have to go to another one of our friends that's gonna, give you that type of time. And
Mm.
it's always different.
Great. And it's a question of balance as well, right? So if you have a person who gives you more on one side of your dimension, maybe you need the complements to who
Mm-hmm.
have a full spectrum, right? And shout out to everybody who's chatting with us. There is a very interesting question also coming in that pushes back a little back in the conversation about the connection between the cards and tarot. So Bruna, who's my sister, by the way, so she's saying that she always talks about tarot more related to the stars than to gods. So it was a surprise to hear about that before.
Well, horoscopes is what it is the astrology, and the signs are the stars. You know how they say as above, so below, if you ever heard that term. What's going on up there literally dictates what's going on down here. So that's why you always hear us talking about full moons and new moons, and Mercury's going into retrograde, and Uranus is doing this, and Pluto's wilding out over here, because that plays a major factor. But one thing that was great that I learned is we all have a lot of the signs in us. I was born a Virgo, but my sun is in Virgo, my moon is in Gemini, my rising is in Libra. So it's all about your timing and your birth chart. That astrology breaks down your personality. So, like, if your sister said she wanted to go in by her birth date and time, it will tell her how she acts, how she thinks, how she receives, how she, you know what I mean? That's your profile. That's how you work, that's how you think, that's to get to know you better. That's your like blueprint when it comes to astrology. So she's correct in that sense. Tarot with the cards is more to me for alignment and to get you back in your path. What sign are you? When's your birthday?
Gemini, May 29.
I love Geminis.
That's good. It's a relief.
Geminis, when I was younger, I used to judge Geminis. I used to say I was scared of Geminis. Geminis have the split personality. And when I started learning, I realized I'm Gemini too in my chart. So I was like, so
So I hear that a
every
lot about
sign is
people.
needed. Hmm. Every sign is needed. If you notice, you're a Gemini, right? So Gemini is an air sign. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You're in May, June, Libra's in October, Aquarius is in February. So how is it that these three signs who are so far apart are all in the same cluster? Like, that's what makes astrology cool when you start breaking it down and looking at it that way. So every batch, air signs, fire signs, earth signs, it's three signs from different times of the year that go together, and you'll notice why they call you an air sign, why they would call me an earth sign.
And I have another question I want to ask you is that do you think on a practical application to life, like you did to Layla before, um, how useful it is to people to know and to get a reading to in order to perform better in their work, in their family environment. You know what? How can you make use of what you of the information you give us to make our lives better on a daily
Um,
basis?
I think receiving, but the one thing is not to drive yourself crazy. Before, I would listen to my horoscopes and I would over listen to my horoscopes. Like, it's one thing to live your life and enjoy it, and it's one thing to live in fear. And I think that when I was going through my spiritual journey and my spiritual awakening, I knew what path I was on, but I knew not everybody would understand